Tropical cyclones, also known as hurricanes, form over warm ocean waters when the rising moist air cools to saturation, causing high winds and heavy rain. But the biggest threat to life when a hurricane makes landfall is the rise in sea levels or storm surge, flooding homes and cutting off escape routes. In October 2012, Hurricane Sandy struck New York City with such devastating force that it caused $18 billion worth of damage. In Breezy Point in Queens, residents were rocked by the elements as the superstorm brought fire and floods to the tiny oceanfront neighborhood.
I came within 3 minutes of being killed, and there was really nothing I could have done.
With advance warning of the hurricane, the area had been under evacuation orders, but some residents wanted to ride out the storm. Rosemary McGinn was one of them.
A lot of people have said to me, "What, are you crazy? How could you stay?" I loved crazy, severe weather, and I wanted to see what it was like, and it never occurred to me that there would be any danger.
But the storm would bring conditions that Rosemary had never experienced before, including winds of 80 miles per hour.
I actually had never seen wind like that here. But I think that was really the big mistake that everybody made, was to focus on the wind, when it was the water that really devastated everybody. It was raining hard. It feels like you're getting hit with knitting needles or something. I felt it on my face.
The rainfall, combined with a 13-foot tidal surge caused by Hurricane Sandy, was just the start of the problems for the coastal community.
It looks like the ocean is coming in. It doesn't look like a wave. It doesn't look like something is going to recede. I hear what sounds like an explosion in the basement. I come downstairs. I could see that water was up to about the 3rd or 4th step. I went to the closet to get my wellies. I pull them on, and when I got back to the stairs, the water was almost to the top. And of course I'm thinking, well, if the water got to the ceiling here in less than 5 minutes, maybe it'll get to that ceiling in less than 5 minutes. That just terrified me. And I'm going to be on the roof looking for a helicopter. I really didn't know what to do.
With nightfall and no sign of the storm abating, Rosemary is a prisoner in her own home. There's nothing she can do but sit tight and hope for the best.
I get my cell phone and go to the front door and take video of the surge coming in. I had this thought, I'm going to die. This is amazing. I'm going to die here.
Half a mile away, there's an even greater threat to life in the tight-knit community. Fanned by storm-force winds, an electrical fire is raging out of control. The Fire Department of New York can offer only limited help, held at bay by the tidal surge.
Our fire trucks at the time are now under 5 feet of water. And across the main road, there was a very strong current. The firehouse understands now that there's nothing that they can do, that we have to watch the fire just burn.
This is Breezy Point during the hurricane. No FDMY, no volunteers for well over an hour. We got like a third alarm going here.
Helpless, James knows there is nothing he can do as he watches the fire spread to his own home.
My house was in the middle, and my mother and my aunt and my father and our neighbor are inside the house. The firemen are coming around to me telling me, don't worry, it'll be okay, it'll work out. There wasn't anything you could tell me that they're conclusively alive at that point. Then as I walked closer and closer, I realized that I only had my foundation left in my basement. Like at the bottom of a barbecue, it's just cindering ashes, smoldering remains. I had this sense of numbness. I'm thinking now that there's nothing else I can do for them. They stayed in the house, they went to sleep, and they're all dead. The absolute lowest point in my life.
Across the neighborhood, Rosemary is contemplating her own fate.
While I was sitting there looking at the water, someone banged on the door. And it's the guy down the block who has 7 kids. I open the door and start crying, and what's gonna happen? What am I doing? And he says, don't worry, everything's okay. And then he says, can we just go upstairs and look out the window? But it's just all angry red over the horizon. You know, as far as I knew, the whole community could have burned down. It's hard to describe. I think I was in shock, really.
Overnight, the tidal surge recedes and fires are slowly brought under control. 111 properties have been completely destroyed. The following morning, and the damage caused by Hurricane Sandy can be seen in the cold light of day. Whilst many residents lose their homes, for James, there is at least some good news.
I had received a text from my aunt saying, we're sitting in the church, we're on the 2nd floor, everyone's all right, you know, come over and help us out, give us some blankets. I went over and I hugged my mom. They said when they saw the fire, they immediately started packing up and they had maybe 10 minutes to get out of the house.
Across Breezy Point, residents are seeing their community as they've never seen it before. Broken and ravaged by the superstorm.
Should have set the bay? Oh my God.
I'm in awe of what happened. I have never seen anything like that before.
Incredibly, only 1 fireman and 2 residents were injured during the storm. But Sandy had torn the community apart.
A lot of people have left, abandoned their homes. It's made me more fond of the beach and more willing to be here and do the work and commit what it is to be here. You didn't know what was going to happen that night. How do we know what's going to happen the next time?